Hello, welcome back to the Lorethrough, and this is the intro I will be doing for part 47. We're doing one of those catch-up episodes a little bit here. I said last time we were going to finish the Academy Gate Town, and we will. It'll just be a little bit. So you may notice I am wearing a very different set of armor. It's because I forgot to show this off when we killed this fellow. And farming him's a chore, but we get to see one of these enemies far earlier than we normally would because there's just one randomly roaming south of the artist shack in Liurnia. So let's see what it says. Helm worn by knights sworn to defend the royal capital of Lanedale, the golden canopy represents the honor of standing among the tree's defenders. Its left breast, on the chest piece, is emblazoned with the symbol of Erd Tree worship, said to have once been imbued with an incantation of protection. Time has yet to dull their luster. Yep, and that's what it says for the Greaves as well. So pretty neat chest piece, and then they have a unique great shield as well. Oval great shield made of gold, carried by knights who protected the royal capital of Lanedale. Knights of Lanedale are reputed for their sturdiness, exemplified by this shield's exceptional guard capacity. And sure enough, it is a very good shield. It is probably our tankiest shield, but it's also our heaviest shield. It weighs 17 on its own and takes 34 strength to wield. So that's hefty. The Eclipse Crest shield, in my opinion, is a good balance of weight to defenses, but you might like the way the Golden Great Shield looks more. The Eclipse Great Shield's also really good against magic, while the Golden Great Shield's pretty good against holy and everything else except magic. And it has higher guard boost, so you lose less stamina when you get hit. But we can switch back into our main outfit now. And oh boy, I forgot what pants and chest I was wearing. Oh boy. Well. I guess I'll just figure that out. It was probably the Mausoleum set, right? Because the Mausoleum set looks decent. Its colors aren't too offensive. That looks about right. That's probably what I was wearing. So we could wield the... Yeah. So we could still use our chunkier weapons. Yeah. No problems there. Okay. We will go with that then. And we were going to chat with Dialos while we were here in the Round Table Hold. Because he had something... Because we just had an interaction with him out in the world. We actually found him outside the Round Table Hold. So let's see what he has to say.
Ah, you again, is it? The recusants sent a lackey. Can you believe they invited me to join them? Now, after what they did? I can scarcely believe it myself. Did they think me a fool? You might be surprised to learn I took them up on the offer. Then I only had to ask. The location of the recusant hideout. It's on Mount Gelmir, found off the old road that leads west from the town of Windmills. That's where they hide. The manor on the peak. Just you wait, wretched recusants. You'll rue the day you insulted my name by laying hands on Lanya. The tale of House Hoslo is told in blood, after all.
So they have joined the Volcano Manor recusants have asked Dialos to join them, and he has decided to take them up on their offer for the sake of seeking revenge.
It's on Mount Gelmir, found off the old road that leads west from the town of Windmills. That's where they hide. The manor on the peak. Just you wait, wretched. The tale of how...
Okay, that's all he has to say for now. Let's see if D has something else to say, because he helped us with a fight. 2 fights recently.
Hello there. What can I do for you?
Have we looked at these? I think we've looked at these. But he sells Litany of Proper Death and Order's Blade. We'll pick those up while we're talking to him. But yeah, one of the incantations of the Golden Order fundamentalists used by hunters of those who live in death. The role of the hunters is to stamp out defiled reason, all for the perfection of the Golden Order. Yeah, and those felled by these 2 incantations don't come back, specifically the undead, those who live in death. Okay, I think we are good there. I don't think there's anyone else we need to talk to at this point in time. So let's go to the Academy Gate Town and see if we can make some progress. Because I keep promising progress. I'm just not delivering. It's on me. Oh, and I also took the time to upgrade the Shamshir so I could show that off. So I am remembering things. It's better when I play these episodes close in conjunctions, because if I miss anything, I'm hopefully able to fix it by the next episode. Hopefully. I'm not the best at that. It's kind of funny. We can summon help in the Academy Gate town, as if we were gonna fight everything in one go, like a gauntlet. Interesting. There's blood rose growing there. Blood roses are very nice. They're kind of scant in this earlier part of the game, but we'll be finding a point up ahead, maybe even in this episode, where we will get to deal with we'll see more growing. So we get to this part of the gate town over here, and we see that there are some fortifications leading up into the higher portion of the gate town. We're going to take a little detour over here. Oh, shucks. Let me go! He's getting stuck on his claws. There we go. So as you can see, the Shamshir is quick, but it doesn't stumble. Doesn't stumble things, so that's something to keep an eye on. We'll shoot this beetle. We do enough damage that we get the charged 4th Ash of War. I'll need to remember to show that off at some point. But I wanted to grab that while we were here. Oh. They followed me. How kind. Let's deal with them. But we do a little bit of magic damage. Oh, shucks. I'm so bad at parrying that lunge. There we go. Goodness me. I haven't been parrying in a while, so that's on me. Okay, back to Shamshir. So, one of the important things about the Shamshir is that it's fast, like I said. And it's enough to stumble other players if you're including heavy attacks. PvE, it may not be as good of a choice. A stylish one, sure. God, it's so fast. Ooh. Ooh. He's doing big damage to us. And there we see we have one of those siege machines. And sure enough, if we can get up behind it, we can critical hit this poor guy. Ooh, and deal most of its health and damage. I thought I'd try out the blood grease. It seems that it doesn't add nearly enough blood loss to be worth it, at least on these enemies. Let's head this way first, actually. So we have this nice little town. Unique architecture. We haven't seen anything quite like it, so this is the architecture of Rea Lucaria, it seems. Though they still have those steeples that we see with the dots on them. And clovers. Actually, this looks a little bit like the Eternal City, just with paler stones. It's worn. And honestly, looking at Rea Lucaria itself, it seems to be its own architectural style. A bit different from this lower gate town. Interesting. Okay. But then we have the bridge here. And I don't know if this is a Saint's Bridge. It doesn't look like it. It's probably not a Saint's Bridge or a Divine Bridge. Let's talk to this lady while I think about it.
You, please, I can read them. Your fingers, please, your fingers. Oh, bless you. Oh. Miquella's favor can be yours. hearing slaughtered. But alas, it was for naught. But all you need do is snatch it from the big pot. Pity the poor, poor fool.
So she is being entirely too vague, and had we played the game in a different order, we'd have no clue what she was talking about. But we do know. She is referring to the Haligtree Secret Medallion. Right half of a split medallion depicting the Haligtree. Brandishing the medallion with both halves conjoined will activate the Grand Lift of Rold, granting access to a hidden path. In other words, this secret medallion will guide the bearer to the land of Miquella's Haligtree. So that must be Miquella's favor, is this medallion will get you to his Haligtree, right? And we got that medallion in the village of the Albinaurics. We met old Albus, who is in a big pot, who she talked about. All we need to do is snatch it from the big pot. That's where it is. But though she's saying the correct things, and to her mind it makes sense, her sense of conveying language is not great. It's pretty bad, honestly. But still, she gives us some hints, and she talks about the all-hearing or the all-knowing. I forget which phrase she used. I think she said all-knowing. She might have said all-hearing, though. And that's, oh my gosh, my mind is blanking. He's in the Round Table of Hold. He's got all the ears on him in the Greek-style armor. Oh god, what was his name? Goodness. Gideon. Gideon Ofnir, the all-hearing, or the all-knowing. He's got eyes, he's got ears, he's a vast accumulator of knowledge. Oh, we'll need to go down there at some point to loot those caskets. That's not super important right now, though. But here we find the blue-white wooden shield, which I think is a very handsome small shield. I'm just going to disgrace this cuckoo soldier really fast. But there we find the blue and white shield. Small wooden round shield that has been reinforced with metal. It is light and easy to handle, but cannot offer the damage negation of a true metal shield. The design is said to represent the stars of the night sky, portending fate. So, it's a good little round shield. It doesn't weigh a whole lot. It weighs like 2, so pretty lightweight. It's not the best. I just like the way it looks. Of the small shields, it's like you pick the rickety shield because you don't need it to weigh much. It weighs like 1. So good for a parry tool that's lightweight if you're really tight on your carry weight. And then there's like the iron round shield and all the other round shields that weigh like 3. They also count as small shields. They have the good parry on them. If they have a parry on them. And here we find a grace. It is the South Raya-Lucarian Gate. And here we have this big old Raya-Lucarian casting symbol. It's got the cuckoos on the other side and the star they are gazing at. And we cannot proceed without a glintstone key, which is what Tops told us about, actually, all the way back here. He told us we should find a glintstone key and gain access, and if we find a spare, bring it to him. So what's this noble have? Meeting place map. Found a simple map. We can check it in our inventory. There it is, sure enough. And, well, it looks like it's a picture depicting a big landmass and some smaller landmasses and a sunken town beneath it. So that must be Raya-Lucaria and the gate town beneath it, and then some little landmasses to the west of it. So if you look at this, here's the gate town, there's Raya-Lucaria, and there's a whole lot of little landmasses in this area, right? But if we look at that picture, it looks like there are 2 orbs and then a bunch of scattered things, well, 2 little dots. It could very well be this. So we will try to head in that direction if time permits. We will do what we can. Okay. Alright, so up next is... I think we're going off the reservation, so to speak. I think there's a place we can jump down over here and do so safely. And I would like very much to do that so we don't have to take the long way around. Yep, sure enough, there are buildings over here for us to hop onto. So if you hop from this onto this, you survive. But there's not too many places like that. Okay, we are going to go around for sure and make sure it's nighttime, because we have another nighttime boss coming up. Oh, we sure do love our nighttime bosses. Lots of graves, though. Strangely enough, no undead. Over there, I think, is where we'll actually fight our nighttime boss, which is another undead, actually. Spoiler. I should be better about those spoilers. I think we can make some holy pots, actually. 2. We might want more than that. This is the version of the nighttime undead boss that starts to give me troubles. But we'll grab the grace, which should give us lots of help. And we will sort the chest, and we will store pots. And we'll craft many of the rest. Because we are here to slay the undead. We want to be ready for that. We want to be very, very ready for this. Okay. Very spooky. Ah, you know what? We're going to change our physic just for this. So, I need to remember to change it back, though. So we're going to get the one that gives us strength, and the other one that buffs holy attacks. There we go. Because I do not like this boss, and I want it over with as soon as possible. Okay, where is he at? Oh, he's right above us, isn't he? Does good damage. And he's very upset. He's going to shoot a lot of little projectiles at us. But if we take it slow, it's not too bad, but he has these huge attacks, right? Oh boy, that was a lag spike. That might have been picked up on the feed. Oh. Oh, but thanks to holy items, even though we are not a faith build, and that wondrous physic, we did lots of damage, trivializing the fight. And we get the Ancient Death Ring Core, which is a very good sorcery, though it's one of those sorceries that I believe takes a blend of, you guessed it, int and faith. Sorcery of the Servants of Death. Summons a horde of vengeful spirits that chase down foes. Charging enhances potency. They are cinders of the ancient death hex, raked from the fires of ghost flame by death birds. Let's see. Once thought lost, the ancient death hex was rediscovered by the necromancer Garrus, so it's a stronger version. So that particular version was a much stronger version of the death bird. It had glowing wings, it had little figures of ghosts in its wings, it had these spears, these projectiles. It was a much meaner version of what we're used to dealing with. I need to change my wondrous physic. I told myself I'd remember. So far I like grabbing the 2 intelligence ones just because I think it's fun. Okay, there we go. And we still have a handful of holy water pots. We'll hold on to those and waste them on undead as we see fit. Now we are going to ride north, because there's a thing I want to grab up here. I hope I can find it. I have like a hint on my map, but it's... We've learned in the past that those hints are not always precise. So, we'll keep going. We're going to go under the bridge. And maybe it wasn't supposed to be under the bridge. Maybe it was beside the bridge. I should really just adjust the map. I went too far north. I think it's over here. I think we get close to it. Yeah, it's pretty close to this grace if I recall. So grab this and I will adjust my map. One moment. Okay. Alright. That should be good enough information for me. Okay. So it looks like it is actually just like around the corner. In fact, I think I hear it. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's one of these. I'm curious. Can I just shoot it with this? Oh, shucks. So yeah, you want to hit it with something stronger than my little spell, but that wasn't too bad. And we get Shield Bash, which, believe it or not, is a fantastic Ash of War for breaking the guards of other shields. Funny. Okay. And we're going to investigate this island over here. Actually, can I investigate this gazebo carefully? Because lobsters are scary. I can. And like a thief in the night, we made out with some smith and stones. Which I'm always looking for new things to upgrade, so definitely worthwhile. What do I want to play with now? So many options. We should probably play with the Shamshear. I like the Shamshear. Though, it's honestly, it really shines when you're using it against other players. I just like it more than the other curved swords. I don't know. I didn't like it at first because I thought it looked dumb, but using its attack pattern, it feels quite effective. So here we have another wizard tower, and it too has that cuckoo crest blocking it. Which is interesting, because I've always considered these to be of Carian make. Then again, I guess there's probably some sort of overlap thanks to Renala, Queen of the Full Moon, Governor of the Academy. Oh. We have these undead here, and they're tanky as all get out, but it wants us to seek 3 wise beasts. So let's get a moving. Oh look, there's one. That's easy. Goodbye. We're gonna keep going around the edge here. Oh, here's the second one. Carry him. And the whole time while you're hunting for these turtles, they're just throwing spectral undead at you. Which is funny, because we've already seen specters. There's the third one. And then they all die. Specters, the Carians use specter puppets. They have cuckoo soldiers, they have noblemen. And now we've seen that they have undead and even Carian night trolls. So they have all sorts of puppets they like to use. Which is interesting that the puppets seem spectral, made of sorcery somehow. They don't seem, I don't know, they seem a little different from average spirits, but I'm not sure exactly how. Here we have a nice top of the wizard tower. Where's that? I'm gonna drop a glowstone. Here we just find another memory stone, which will be nice for when I get to the PvP episode, which is coming up. It might even be next episode if I play my cards right, which would be fun. I'd like to film that. I'd like to film that today. Honestly, it looks like Stormveil, which is weird. Yeah, that just looks like Stormveil. Why is that here? That doesn't make much sense. Where is that? That looks like Stormhill. Like the very front of it, the gate. Gatefront ruins. It's really weird. And there's a great bridge, it looks like, in that picture there. These just concept arts. There's the Tower of Return. We've been there. It's a fancy chair that I just broke the table it's attached to. I'm not sure where all of these paintings are, but they're very nice. Looks like a bunch of rocks, glintstones. I still want to know the connection between the Academy Gate Town and the Eternal Cities, because the architecture looks very similar. Maybe they are of the same empire or what have you, but different eras. That could be it. Because there's a lot of people adopting other people's places in this game. A lot of icons being replaced and things like that. Okay, so I think we are good to head over here. And this episode might be a tad shorter, actually, because I'll be rushing to go film the PvP episode, which should be next episode. Oh my goodness. Because this is episode 47, I believe, so episode 48 must be the PvP episode. Which is the reason I've kept this poor character at level 60, was it? Yeah, with plus 8 weapons, so I could be in that bracket. Be in that PvP bracket. It's going to be a sad bracket, especially since this character's not optimized at all. I've built this character for the sake of showing off as much as I feasibly can. And I'll use it to show off more later. So this ruin right here on the map, about here, it's a popular place people go to farm for the Ripple Crescent Halberd. And the reason being is just over here westward is a site of grace. People travel to and from. They'll be popping the silver 4-foot foul foot thing. And they will just go back and forth and they will farm that item. Okay. Don't have much time left in the episode, but I think we will go loot those caskets I was talking about. And then we will go talk to an NPC, and we will experience the PvP, and I will have a PvP chat in episode. Which is funny because I have 2 other PvP episodes in the works as well, but those will just be showing off builds. They'll be disconnected entirely from the playthrough. But for those who are keeping up with the series, it'll be kind of neat. Because I've had so many woes as of late trying to figure out how to film those things. This flower is shooting so many projectiles at me is very rude. But like, I've been using DaVinci Resolve for these episodes for the most part. And DaVinci Resolve was not working out well. So I need to find another program for editing to figure that out. DaVinci Resolve worked really well for like a month. Maybe just over a month. And I had no problems with it. I mean, once in a while it would crash. But what editing software doesn't crash, right? That was expected. Part and parcel for the course. But it got so bad that it would start slowing down and freezing and then become unresponsive. And after fiddling around for it for a bit, I got it to basically crash every 2 to 3 minutes. And I just couldn't get it fixed. Maybe I'm just not tech savvy enough, which is very possible. There are so many of these awful flowers in the area. Goodness me, oh my. Alright, here we find ourselves... Actually, I want to grab this while we're in the ballpark. So here we have a big old beetle. Ah, nice. And we get Blood Flame Blade, which is very excellent, even if you never plan to put more points into anything. It's a very good dip incantation, where you just put a couple points in that direction to get it. Because it only takes 12 Faith and 10 Arcane, which is fairly modest. Right? And it's basically like blood grease, but the difference is that it applies the bleed stack over 2 seconds, which means while it's applying, it's not decaying, which actually helps you keep building it up. So if you put that on a weapon that already has bleed, then you'll be doing like 80 points of bleed or something, or more even. And 40 of those points will help maintain the bleed and it won't decay as quickly. So let's talk to Varre, since he has made his way over here to this church building, which is full of awful red lumps.
Ah, there you are. You claimed a great rune and had your audience with the 2 fingers at the round table hole. What was your impression?
They didn't seem right, and to be fair, it's because they don't have fingerprints, and they're just 2 fingers, they're not a whole hand. Something's wrong, right? I'm not a theologian. They don't seem like a real thing, a real creature that could survive. But, as far as we're concerned, we can say that they were magnificent or they didn't seem right. And I'd say they didn't seem right even to our character who is a part of this world, mostly because they had a lot of wounds on them. They seemed lethargic, sad, a shadow of what they might have once been.
Aha, your intuition serves you well. My doubts had been piling up, you see. The words of the 2 fingers cannot be trusted. Truly, naught but rambling, senile delusions. I believe that when the Elden Ring was shattered, the 2 fingers were corrupted, their guidance skewed. Even worse, the fingers harbor no love for our kind. That's the part that irks the most.
So, he believes that the 2 fingers were corrupted at the shattering, that they are shadows of what they once were, and they don't even like the Tarnished, which is weird because they use a lot of Tarnished. They have the Round Table Hold, And they also have their own Confessor Assassins, which seem to be tarnished for the most part.
Oh, I have a gift for you. Something fit only for the wise.
Festering Bloody Finger. That is the invasion item. We found a couple before. Patches even sells some, weirdly enough.
A means for circumventing the draw of the two fingers. Give it a try, won't you? And if it please you, may we meet again. I've high hopes for you, my lambkin.
Alright, so we can use the Festering Bloody Finger to attempt to invade the world of another player. The multiplayer session will begin once the invasion succeeds. Yeah. You will take the role of an invader, Bloody Finger, and your objective is to defeat the host fingers of that world. If you stray far from the host of fingers, the compass at the top of the screen points to their location. So, we have a little compass directing us in that direction.
Be sure to try that finger I gave you. There's no reason to dither. The tarnished were spurned by grace, forsaken by the two fingers. And now they ask you to mend their crumbling world? Your loyalties are misplaced with them.
But he doesn't seem to be spurning us. He seems to be talking in the general sense that if we were to place our loyalties in the two fingers, they would be misplaced. He also seems in his dialogue to be not as condescending now. He seems to be shifting towards buttering us up. He calls us wise. And he speaks to us in a chummy way. He wants us to join his little faction. And it seems it's a faction of invaders.
Be sure to try. I'm quite certain.
Alright, cool. So I think all that's left is the Rose Church. So here we have a slew of blood roses that we can loot. We can come here repeatedly. A lot of people come from the previous grace to loot all these for their items. And here we have a Sanguine Noble with the Healess Blade and... oh, shucks. Oh, he's trying to parry right there. That's what that is. I don't want to bleed. Because he was about to bleed us. But he has the Reduvia in one hand and the Bloody Healess in the other. And that's it. He's not much. He's spooky, though. And he tries to parry us. I should have taken a better look inside his hat. Oh, darn it. We'll go take a better look inside his hat. And then we will get to the PvP episode. So he is kind of like the Black Knives, where if you look inside their hood, you don't see anything, right? So let's pass the time to noon so we have some daylight, and we'll take a look inside his mask while I'm thinking about it. I should have shown it off when I fought him the first time. I know. That's just how these things go sometimes. Now let's pick a different weapon. A reliable weapon. Yeah, a halberd. I like the halberd. And we'll make sure we have the tasty damage on it. But we will take a look. So we'll get him spawned. And if we look in his mask, it's empty. Oh, he's shooting at us already. Dang it. But yeah, his mask is empty, and it looks weird. He's trying to parry us. Oh no, something's spitting at us. Seems interesting that he throws knives even though he has a Reduvia. And there's an Albinuric. But the flowers come back, so if you need blood roses for your greases or pots or whatever you're making, there's a lot of them here. Alright, that should conclude it for this episode. Episode 48, I'm excited for, will be the PvP episode. I'll be fixing up this character a little bit. I'll try to keep the stats he has, because I can't respec yet. So we'll try to make it work, and it'll be very unoptimized, but hopefully very fun. Thank you for joining me, and have yourself a good one. Bye-bye.